Hello and welcome to Edupedia World. Hello, now I want to give you guys a walkthrough of the panels in After Effects. So this is what After Effects looks like when you just open up the program. You get some options. You can choose not to see this. I'll just hit close. So this is what After Effects looks like. This is what it looks like, and yes, I will give you a walkthrough. So as you can see, we have a menu system up here, as there is in almost any program. Then we have got a toolbar with some useful tools. When you use the program, you usually know the shortcuts, so you don't actually use this menu that much, but to start off with, it's very nice to have. Then here's your project panel, your effects panel, composition, footage. This is where your composition is made, and this is where it's viewed. And here's your effects panel and some other stuff. That was very quick. I will now go into depth. Okay, so this is your project panel, and this is like the library, or this is where all your video, all your layers, everything, this is where all is stored. This is where you import footage. This is where you store your compositions. This is where everything is stored. So now this panel down here is your composition. This is where you take all your video, if you have some video, maybe some images, all your layers, all your text, all your effects, all your sound. Everything is mixed in this panel. It's called the composition, and in the composition you're working with a lot of layers. I will get into that much more in depth later on. But this is essentially where everything is put together. And then this big panel right here is where you view all your footage. This is also where you view your composition. As you can see up here, it says composition. That means that this panel right here shows what's in your composition. And then the footage panel up here shows you your footage. So everything you got going on down here will be showed in your composition panel. Then if you go to the right over here, we can see we have got our effects and presets panel. You're gonna use this panel a lot because there are no shortcuts. As you can see, it consists of a large menu system with a lot of different things. You can see we've got blur and sharpen. Okay, what can I do then? You can take, there's all these different names. They're all called effects, and you can add these effects to different layers. So you can see there are some effects for audio. You can play the audio backwards. You can change the bass and the treble. You can add delay. It's all just different effects. There are also some text effects, and you can do keying. You can generate some lines and the grids and stuff. All the effects are in this panel. If you don't know where to find a blur, then you can just go up here and type in blur, and this will show you all the options for blur. So it's very easy to use, and I'm sure you're gonna get very used to it. And then there are some other panels. One you're gonna use quite often is this preview panel. It's all grayed out right now because I have nothing to preview, but this is essentially where you preview everything. So this is where you can set different settings for rendering the preview, the frame rate, the resolution, all that stuff. This is just, yeah, like playing back what you have made. This is done in the preview area. And then you've got bit of info up here. I almost never use it. And then here is some audio controls. As I told you guys, all your effects can be found in this effects and presets panel, but they can also be found up in this menu. So just click effect, then you will see all the same options up here. So you can see you have keying, and if you look over here you have keying as well. You can see audio, and there's audio. So it's all the same. If you know how to use or where to look, then this menu can be a bit quicker, but I just always use this panel over here. So now I just want to give you guys an example of like how a project in After Effects, what it can look like. So this is just a quick project that I made. It's shot from a drone that then flies by. And yeah, sorry for it being all blown out. If I change the resolution to full, you can see this is how it looks. You can see the drone flies by, and then the color just comes on really quickly, and then it just goes away again. Just flies through the plane and then vanishes. So as you can see over here in the project panel, this is where I have all my footage. So this element right here, if I double click that, then it will show up in the footage. So if I double click any footage, any even like a solid, if I double click that, it will come up in my footage. So this is where I can just like preview the footage, say okay, it looks pretty good, I want to use this little area. And then this composition panel shows what I've made in the composition down here. So let's just find a frame right here, and then it will show what this little marker, where it's at. As you can see, I have got some different layers down here. You don't need to understand what these does at this moment. This is not a simple composition, but as you can see, I have my footage on one layer, then a camera and some lights and stuff. And if I highlight my footage right here, and I go up to effects controls for footage, then you can see this is where I have all my effects for this layer. So all the effects that I've got over here, I can take those and add those onto this footage layer. So if we look at this layer right here, it's called Element 3D. This layer, if I just turn it off, you can see what part of the image this layer is. So this layer is the hologram plane, and you can see that when I turn it off. Okay, so on this plane I've got 3 effects, and they are all found in this panel. These 3 effects that I've added can be seen in this effect control panel. So I've added Element 3D, which is to import the 3D model. So this is an actual 3D model in After Effects. And then I've got a tint. You see here I choose the blue color that you see. And then I've also got a glow. And the glow, as you can see when I turn it on and off, it adds the shininess to the plane. So now let's see how we can preview this footage, because right now I'm just dragging this cursor around, the timeline around, but we don't see how it actually looks when it's moving and stuff. So to do that, we want to go over to the preview panel over here. So if you just drag this down, we can see everything. So you get some different options. So the shortcut to previewing is spacebar. So if I hit spacebar, then it will start previewing the footage. You can change this, so if you want it for the numpad, 0 on the numpad, or shift 0 numpad. I like it to have it on spacebar. And then you can have it play from, and then you can have it to say, okay, I want it to play from current time, which means it will play from this cursor and then continue on. Or you can set it to start of range. That means it will use these guys. So if you set this here and then say, okay, preview, then it will move from this little dot. Okay, so there's a difference between previewing and a preview render, and then so you can see here, if I just press space, it will preview in quarter resolution. So that is, this is HD, so 1920 by 1080, and then when you set it to quarter, it's like very bad resolution. So if you set this to full, then it will of course take longer time. But the way I like to preview is setting the in and out points with these guys. You can just drag these, or you can press B to set the beginning and then press N to set the end. And then you have defined this range, as you can see. Then if you press 0 on your number pad, then it will start going through the animation. And you can see this green line will appear, and it moves along. And when this has gone to the end, then it's finished rendering, and it will then show the animation in full speed. So now I've only rendered this green part, but it's enough, so I'll just press N to set the end, and then I'll just preview this small area. So this is what it looks like, and well, it would be nicer if I had a longer time to preview, but it's quite decent. When you use this method of previewing where you just press 0, it will start from your endpoint and then stop at your endpoint, and it will use the resolution that you have set over here. So if you set it to half resolution, then it will preview in half resolution, and the rendering time will be quicker. We can now also take a look at the toolbar, since it's not grayed out now when we have a project loaded. So the first one is just your normal cursor. This is your select tool, and the shortcut for the selection tool is V. Boom. So if you press V, you'll select this selection tool. Then the next tool is your hand tool, and what the hand tool is used for is moving around like this. So when I have the hand tool selected, I move the image around, or I pan around on the image, and I don't actually move the image. I just this is like moving the camera around just to look and not move the actual layers. So if I press V to take the selection tool, or just click up here, then you can see if I were to click and drag, then I would move the different layers around, and that's not what I want. I want to move just my image around. So let's just undo all this by pressing Ctrl C, and then take our hand tool, and as you can see, the shortcut is H. So press H, we've got our hand tool, press V, and we've got our selection tool. There are some shortcuts to get to the hand tool a bit easier. If you don't want to have to press H all the time, then when you are in just your tool, you can just hold down the space bar, and you can see the selection tool pops up, or the hand tool, sorry. We can also use the middle mouse button on our mouse, just press it down, and then we can move around. And this is the method that I use because it's the most natural for me. Then the next option we have is our zoom tool. So if we just press that, we can click, and this way we can zoom in. And well, it's a decent tool to have, but it's way easier just to use the scroll wheel as I am now. So I never use this tool. Then now we've got some other tools. I won't go into detail with these right now. I will cover these in later videos because that's where they will fit the best.
Thank you for watching Edupedia World. Stay tuned for more videos.